Hello, this is the Blimey Cow YouTuber, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'll be watching the Homeschooler's Guide to College, commentating on it, and then reading some of the comments that they're under. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, going right into the intro there without a cold open, which I guess I don't really have any opinions on, just pointing it out.
Here's a question for you. What happens when a homeschooler goes to college? Because I think that most people assume that it goes something like this. Oh boy, my first day of college is... Oh, you're not my sister! You don't resemble my brother! Where's my family? Ah! And while that...
um, you know, I guess I wasn't surprised at my the other students not being my family members. Um, it was kind of weird having other students, let alone I don't know. It was weird being around people. Well, it wasn't weird exactly. I just didn't like it.
That's obviously not the case. There's definitely a transition between homeschooling life and college life. And that's why I wrote this guide, The Homeschooler's Guide to College. You no longer make your own schedule. And your professors are not like your parents who understand that if Chick-fil-A gives you a couple more hours this week than you expected, that of course you're gonna get a little behind in your homework. Your professor...
Um, yeah, I guess that's accurate. I mean, but I would say that it's equally as much of a difference for public schoolers going into college who are now, because you get some degree of um, getting to make your own schedule in college. Um, I mean, you can take night classes. You can, um, like, you're an adult. So, um, as big of a shock as it is for homeschoolers not having as much control over their schedule, there's just as much of a shock, I would say, for public schoolers now being able to have some control over their schedule. And um, plus, there's so much online classes that you really uh, do nowadays. You can do it completely making your own schedule. Obviously, you have deadlines and stuff still, but um, how you do things within the day or within the week is usually up to you, or it can be if you decide to take online courses.
Professors aren't your parents. Consider every one of these statements a college no-no. Can we maybe have 2 classes today so that we don't have to come in on Friday? You know, double up because my friends and I were planning a Lotar marathon. Do you think that I can take a break from this class? I promise I'll only be gone for 10 minutes. The college cafeteria food?
Um, I have never actually heard someone verbally say Lot R instead of Lord of the Rings.
Food is not as good as your mother's. And
Oh, you don't know my mother? um, but no. I guess I never really ate it. I can tell you that the uh, mess hall food in the military is not as good as your mother's. And that goes for pretty much any mother. Um, Although it does depend. They have their on days. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to feel generally about um, people who eat at the cafeteria or whatever. Like, it's not that difficult to just buy your own food. You're an adult now, so you're gonna have to learn to at some point.
And it's a testament to how bad the food is that you would rather sit in your car alone and eat the food that you brought. Peanut butter and jelly, my favorite! Love you too, Mom. Choosing your friends wisely. Who you choose to be around in college is very important. Maybe you can find some freshmen that are former homeschoolers themselves and hang out with them. But be cool. Don't search for them like this. Hello, are there any other homeschoolers on this campus? Anybody else want to salute the Christian flag before we go to class? Instead,
Um, yeah, I mean, I would say that I avoided making friends, but it was kind of inevitable that I made a friend or two in each of my classes when I was in college, or when I was going to college. I wouldn't say I was in college necessarily, because that implies certain things that would not be accurate. Um, I actually knew a guy going to the same college at the same time, also on the dual credit program, from church. But we never really hung out in college much because our classes didn't overlap really. Um, and he was the only, I guess, well, him and my best friend's older sister were the only homeschooled kids I knew in college, and they were people I knew already. I guess if I was actually going to college, I would have met more people. Um, as opposed to just taking a couple classes for dual credit. Um, but I don't know. I think a lot of things that can be said about um, college can also be said about the military. So, um, in terms of that, I can say I have met um, a couple of or, people that were homeschooled since I've been in the military, and I don't know if I was ever cool about it. Like, I mean, people can tell that I um, am not um, normal, I guess. And, that's cool. I don't, I've never been worried about being seen as normal or anything. In fact, I would rather, um, well, anyways,
Dad, you could bring up in conversations with people The Princess Bride, Doctor Who, or Adventures in Odyssey, and it'll become really obvious who the homeschoolers are. Getting
again, I've heard of Adventures of Odyssey. I've never seen Doctor Who. The Princess Bride, you can bring that up. Um, Although, I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, are these stereotypically um, homeschooler things that homeschoolers like or whatever? Maybe. I don't know much about stereotypes, but they are part of popular culture, and you're going to have people who um, have seen them and like them. I mean, they're not as ubiquitous, I guess, as something like Lord of the Rings, but um, th- that's I wouldn't think that would narrow things down that much.
The college experience.
You really need to make sure that you're getting the full college experience.
But what is the full college experience?
Questions you don't want the answers to. Don't ask questions you don't want the answers to. Just no. What's the point of getting no experience is or should be an end to itself. Um, like you shouldn't just be getting the college experience to get the college experience. And I don't see any reason to get the college experience. Um, at all, really.
Because no one can really define it for you, but you better believe that you're gonna hear about it all the time. Dude, I can't believe you missed our last minute party last night. It was so awesome. You're missing the full college experience. I am? Yes. There were 3 people that passed out before the cops came. It was awesome. How is that awesome? That sounds horrifying. Dude, your homeschool is showing. You are sheltered. And you're an idiot. Commuting! Look, I'm just gonna be real. If you're a homeschooler going to college in your hometown, you're probably a commuter. Now, you'll probably use the "it saves money" excuse, but it's really mostly because dorms sound horrifying. I mean, you may try it for a semester to prove that you're independent or something, but you're gonna be back at home. You can't.
Um, I don't know. This is the biggest thing of why college is a waste of money. College is designed for, oh my gosh. Are you an adult or are you not an adult? If you're an adult, you shouldn't be living at your parents' place. But if you're an adult, you should be having a job and you shouldn't be living in a dorm. You should have at least an apartment. So, dorm college dorms are the biggest problem in our world today, and if we could abolish them, then all wars would end, and you could solve hunger and national disasters and everything else just by bombing the college dorms. Don't literally bomb a college dorm because that would be terrorism, and so I meant like metaphorically bombing them. Whatever.
To wear pajamas to class anymore. Your whole life, wearing pajamas while you did school was a badge of honor. But you'll
Nope, 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 because I am an. I was about to say because I'm an adult. Um, I guess that wasn't technically true when I was younger, um, but I would have said it back then because here's the okay. Two things that are wrong with society: college dorms and people raising children. Stop raising children. You're supposed to be raising adults. You don't want to raise a bunch of stupid, useless people who want to be kids and leech off their parents until they get kicked out and then leech off the government until they die. Raise adults and get rid of the college dorms. That'll solve wars and famines and natural disasters and everything in between.
Realize that in college, the only ones wearing PJs are the slackers in the back who barely got out of bed in time to make it to class 10 minutes late. Excuse me, sir. I couldn't help but notice you were wearing your PJs. Were you homeschooled?
No. Crazy night!
The end. Okay, homeschoolers, if you decide to go to college, you are now officially ready to go to college. Go forth and make your family proud. And also make sure that you find yourself a spouse or else the whole thing was a complete waste of time.
Alright. That's great. Honestly, just um, yeah. I'm. I've said it before, but probably not all of you saw that, or well, almost definitely none of you saw that video. Um, uh, College is not for everyone, and I don't just mean that in terms of like it wouldn't be a good fit for everyone. Like the only people who should be going to college, people that are going to be doctors, lawyers, or scholars. Okay? And there's things that fit into those categories which may not be obvious. But there's no reason, realistically. I'm, and again, this is a systemic problem with the education system as a whole that kind of forces people to stay in education programs until they're basically until half of their adult life is gone, and instead of um, moving out and beginning their life as an adult human. But just if you don't need the education, and again, I know certain jobs, or most jobs really at this point, require or at least prioritize people with a college education. Um, I think we should do the opposite, and we should prioritize people without a college education, because if you have a college degree, why the hell do you want to stack boxes at Walmart? But probably because you're an idiot and a loser. Um, this one, anything that has to do with education is going to get me going on tangents and um, ending the video not very happily. I don't know how to tie up all these loose ends, so I'm just going to play out the rest of the video and then I'll go read some of the comments. Alright, so I've gone ahead and picked out just a few comments that I'll go ahead and read through real quickly here. At Green Day Guitar 15 says, you summed up one of my best friends who was homeschooled with the sentence, Princess Bride, Doctor Who, Adventures in Odyssey. Spot on a very creepy level. Well, I was gonna say that I guess this person, the, the person commenting, um, is not homeschooled themselves, and that if they were, they would um, not find that creepy. But um, again, I never heard of Adventures in Odyssey until I started watching Blimey Cow, and I still have never seen a single episode of Doctor Who, and I have no plans to ever. Um, I will say though, The Princess Bride is um, easily one of my favorite movies ever. I think it was actually my dad's favorite movie, and I'm pretty sure, funny story, it was um, the first movie and or uh, it was either the first movie my parents saw together or they saw it the first date they had, something like that. Um, so I guess for that reason, um, I could actually technically probably thank The Princess Bride for my existence, um, or at least um, to some extent. I don't know. It's kind of funny if I think about it, and also kind of scary to think about what would happen if they just happened to not see that movie. Then, anyways, at this bubbly Jesus freak says, "Can we maybe have two classes in one day? I laughed so much. Oh my goodness, that was so good. I almost shed tears. 10 out of 10 on this one, guys." That's one thing. Like, I don't know. I think I did get to do this a couple times, but my mom was always particular about um, being like consistent with our classes, and like we'd do our school throughout the summer and stuff. And like, yeah, we'd be able to take like field trips probably more often than most people and stuff like that. And we did have some flexibility because of it. But I don't know, there's just something that ruins a vacation about having to do schoolwork in the car. I mean, doing schoolwork in the car, especially if you get motion sickness easily, just sucks. Um, but having to do schoolwork in the car while you're supposed to be on vacation is just the actual worst thing ever. That's one thing I wish I could have gotten a little bit more out of being homeschooled. Speaking of college experience, that's one thing. One part of the homeschool experience I wish I had more of. At Trevor the Miniman says, or you could go to a Christian college and then everyone seems to be homeschooled. And then Tatted Lace 2086 says, then you better find a spouse. Yeah, I do actually kind of want to um, go to a. I don't know. Part of me thinks it would be kind of cool to go to like a seminary and get a or get ordained, but that's probably something I'm never gonna do. Um, and then yeah, of course, if you're doing that, then you don't really have an excuse if you don't um, come out married, unless you're taking a vow of celibacy or something. At Suilin Harad 3939 says, as a homeschooler who went to college, biggest challenge was finding a social group. Apparently, that's a skill like everything else. Oh, apparently that's a skill like everything else, and it's tough to learn when you grow up with just your family and a handful of friends you've known for years. That's something you're bound to run up against if you ever um, move or, um, I guess, change your um, station in life, um, regardless of whether that's college or not. Me personally, I haven't ever really had a problem with this, partly because I just don't really like, I just kind of exist in whatever social group I have, and I'm just kind of good with what I'm stuck with. Um, I also think that I don't have the social skills to actually like dislike people. Um, like that might sound weird, but like I think you have to be able to like pick up on social cues and stuff, which I just can't. Because like I'll hear people talking about someone that I've never had a problem with, and everyone agrees that they're the worst person ever, and I've never had any negative interaction with this person, or at least that I've noticed. And I think it's just because I don't notice things like that. Like I am incapable of um, picking up on when someone is a um, uh, what's the word? Just not a nice person to be around, I guess. Um, but yeah, that's my advice on that is to just not care, I guess, about your social group and just kind of be fine with what you're stuck with. um, I don't know if that's actually something that could be considered advice, but that's my advice. Anyways, though, that's all I have on that. Um, so that's where I'm going to be ending this video, and I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you later. Wait. If you enjoyed the video, you can uh, subscribe to Blimey Cow and watch the original video. Links for both of those will be in the description below. And now, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you later.